Welcome to the Mark video channel, and today we are talking about the different types of closing costs you should expect to see when buying or refinancing a home. And this is great information for you because you certainly don't want to get to closing and not know the financial obligations that you have. And so we're going to show you some things today, and we think that'll really help you out. First of all, make sure you get your GFE, good faith estimate. And this is something lenders are required to give you within 3 days of completing the loan application. And it should have all of these things detailed. Some of them can't change except for extraordinary circumstances. Some of them can change up to 10%. And some of them you're responsible for. And of course, those can change according to whatever you decide to do. So make sure you get your GFE. That's very important. All right, the first type of fee we're going to talk about today is the lender fee, also called the origination fee. And this can't be changed once it's quoted unless there's a valid reason. There's been a change in circumstances. And so basically it's pretty well set, but there are some instances where it can change. And this is a percentage of the loan. It's compensation to the lender or the broker, but also the broker can be paid by the borrower also. So there's some options there with that. And this fee, of course, is disclosed on the GFE and the broker agreement. And there's also disclosed there any credits that are offered to the borrower by the lender or any additional fees for a lower rate that you might be getting. So that's the lender fee or origination fee. Now let's talk about required services that the lender selects. These are things such as the appraisal, credit reports, flood certificates, and things such as that. And these fees can't change more than 10% from what they're originally quoted to you. And again, the lender is responsible for selecting the companies that will go and do this and taking care of getting these reports and certificates. And that fee is pretty well set. It can change a little bit up to 10%, but not much. The third category we're going to talk about is title services. And these are fees that can't change more than 10%. And it's generally a closing fee paid to the title or escrow agent. And it includes a title insurance, both for the lender and the owner, the lender's policy and the owner's policy, and includes such things as the title search fee, miscellaneous fees for notaries, and document preparation. The next category we're going to talk about is government recording fees and transfer taxes. Documents must be recorded with the appropriate governing body, and this varies from state to state. So, of course, the fees can be different according to the state. In addition to that, some local municipalities may have separate fees that are imposed just depending on where your home is located. This can include doc stamps on the mortgage deeds, intangible taxes, and things such as this. Transfer taxes must be quoted precisely to you, as they cannot change at closing except, once again, for unusual or unknown circumstances. So these taxes and fees are pretty well set. The last fee we're going to talk about before we get into the prepaids and escrow are the services that you shop for. This includes surveys, pest inspections, and things like that. The borrower typically selects their own vendors for these things, which is great because you can shop around and get a great price for that, and also use companies that you're familiar with and have a good track record with. So you're in control of these things. You get to shop for them. You get to select who you want for these things. And of course, you're responsible for that. And since you're making that selection, of course, the price is negotiable with you and directly working with the vendor. All right, that covers all the actual fees and expenses. And now we're going to talk about the prepaids and the escrow. You need to be aware that you're going to need to bring money to closing for items referred to as prepaids and escrows. And these aren't really expenses, but costs of owning the property that you are required to pay for in advance. Things such as homeowners insurance, the escrows, daily interest charges, etc. Now, let's break these down for just a moment. Homeowners insurance. The lender is going to require you to pay for the annual homeowners policy premium up front at closing. And then as we move into the escrows, we've got also homeowner's policy in that. The lender is also going to collect 2 to 3 months of the homeowner's insurance policy so that that can be held in escrow to ensure there's enough money to cover payment on the policy when it comes due the following year. In addition to that, they'll also collect 2 to 3 months on property taxes up front for the same reason, to make sure there's enough money there to pay for the taxes the following year. And of course, under certain situations, you may elect to pay these yourselves and not to put them into escrow, and that could be possible in certain situations. And of course, the lender from time to time provides a reconciliation for you. Daily interest charges. Now, this represents the interest from the date of closing your loan to the end of the month. So if you close in the middle of the month, of course, the interest is going to have to be paid to get you through the rest of that month. And we have some examples of that on the blog. We'll put the URL here with the video. We've got some examples of that which you can check out. Since these items that we're talking about here are not fees charged by a third party, but merely collecting these items which are paid as a result of your ownership of the home, of course these can vary from the amounts that are quoted. The main thing to remember as we wrap all of this up is to make sure that you receive a copy of the GFE early in the loan process. And make sure that you look at it, you understand it, ask any questions that you have about it, and make sure that you understand who's responsible for paying for each item. And that way when you get to closing, there will be no surprises, and some of the things that you have a little control over and possibly can shop around for and save a little money, that'll give you a heads up about that, and you can be doing that. Anyway, thank you for being with us. This was Merrimark Mortgage with the video channel, our video channel, and we sure do hope that this information is very valuable to you, and we look forward to serving you in the future. Thanks for being with us today.